Hey friends, Zen Cooney here. Time to do a little Indian club training for beginners. So this is number 2 of several videos that I'm going to shoot just for beginners. So we'll start with the stick. Use your dominant hand to start with. Both of us are righties, so you can start from this position, so you'd be in a hammer grip, or you can be in this position and you would be in a saber grip. Let's look at what the movement itself is. So coming from a hammer grip, you reach across the midline, swing it out and up, then you bend elbow and you come into a hammer grip again. So if you take a look at it, here we've come into saber grip. From hammer grip to saber grip, sweep out and up, then it comes into hammer grip again, down in the back, bring the elbow forward and around, clear your head, and you begin again. So here's the single cross in slower motion. Let's look at a few body landmarks for you. So again, if we're starting from our hammer grip, we cast up and out, sweep out and up in saber grip, into hammer grip. Then when your arm comes down, bringing the club behind you, you can see it can come down where it's in the middle of the spine, or far shoulder, or near shoulder. You can do any of those positions and still be well within the range of doing a good, healthy single cross. So, now of course when you're doing singles or you're doing alternating, you can come across. If you were doing 2, you couldn't come all the way across without running into trouble with yourself. So you just come over and you'd come down in the back at near shoulder as opposed to far shoulder, all right? So then let's look at it with a club. So we're using a nice lightweight club. This is a beginner's video. So we're going to cast up and out. Then we come into hammer grip again. And can you see how we're higher here, down. Now this elbow points forward, pulls the club so it's in front of your face, and sweep out. Now if for some reason this is too much pressure on the shoulder, just come to this position. So just where you're roughly at shoulder level, come in. Now if you have to, you can just leave your upper arm here, or you can push the club farther down on the scapula, the shoulder blade, and then bring your arm down and around and straighten the arm out. Let's take a look at it on the other side, taken from the saber position. So you can bring it across midline again, but come up and out this way. So you don't want to have a death grip on your club. You only use enough grip as is required to graciously and gracefully manipulate your club. So we're looking here at increasing digital dexterity. Then let's look at it again from the hammer grip position, cross midline, then come back up, come down, and we'll start across midline low and then sweep back out and up. So that is the single cross. All right, now we're ready to do the same single cross, but we'll have a club in each hand, but we'll just do one and then the other one. So we'll start from the saber grip, and we'll come across the body and up and stop. Cross the body, up and stop. Now, without crossing the midline, we'll just lift up. If you're using a light club, that won't be a problem. If you are using a club that's a little heavier, where that feels a little strenuous, too strenuous on the joint, then go ahead and cross the midline, up and over, up and over. I'm going to show you from the side. Tara, you can just hold from the side so you can see I'm coming into the back. So this is our back circle here, right? Got that? Back circle. Then I come around to front circle. Back circle, front circle. So if you think about it, you've got your circle in the front, and then you've got that same kind of circle in the back. Later on, in more advanced videos, I'll show you how to work exclusively in the back circle. But for now, if we were coming from our hammer grip position, across and down, across and down, across and down, across and down. Again, from the saber, just starting right from where we are, we're going to go 1, 2, and just follow along with me. Always listen to your body. And at first, it's okay to look in a mirror to see what you're doing, or if you're outside, you can look at your shadow. But you want to develop your kinesthetic sense of where you are in space, where your arms are, what your hands are doing, whether you're able to look at them or not. So do one more. And then we're going to do one more on each side in slow motion. So lifting up, comes into the back circle and into hammer grip. Then elbow comes around and down, arm straightens out and down. Up and out, saber grip, hammer grip, back circle, front circle, and down. All right. So next up is doing it with 2 clubs. When I first started off, I learned my very first thing I learned was this as a double, which now, with what I know, I realize that was a much harder thing to learn, and I would have done it much better if I had done the beginning movements first that I now teach to all my students. So, from hammer grip, cross the body up to near shoulder. Now, remember what I told you, you can have your arms only up this high, your humerus, okay, the upper arm, or you can let the elbows come up and then the clubs will come farther down the back. I'll show you in the back. So here's where my clubs are if my elbows are here. Here's where they are with my elbows up. Either way will work. So then what do? Bring both arms across, and you'll see that I can't reach as far across because my arms would get in the way. Now people ask me, should I alternate which arm goes in front of the other? You can, but at first it doesn't matter much. You just want to get 2 arms working at the same time, doing the same thing. You can begin from saber grip. So from down here, up down behind the shoulder blades. Then we're in the back circle here. Now we're coming into front circle. Straighten the arms and out. Then up again, down in the back circle, into the front circle. Now, I want to show you a way that I see people sometimes do this. I wouldn't say that it's wrong, it's just not my preferred way of doing it. So, they cross, they come up, they get to here, and then they just drop right down. I like to do a little bit more thorough range of motion. So I come up, come across, and then reach farther across and back out. All right? So however you do it is good enough. Remember, you're starting, you're learning, you're practicing. So that's the name of the game. You do as good as you can for today, you do a little bit better tomorrow. All right. So starting from the saber grip, we're just going to do a few repetitions. Last one. So that is a double cross. Why double cross? We're using two clubs at the same time. So you're crossing the midline twice, or with two clubs. All right, so double cross. So let's take a look again at single cross, one arm up, down and around. One arm up, down and around. Back circle, front circle. Back circle, front circle. Then with two clubs, back circle, front circle. Back circle, front circle, back circle, front circle, last one, and down. So that's your double cross. Now when we do the alternating cross, we're still using two clubs, but one gets started, then the other gets started. So let me demonstrate it to you in slow motion. So, starting from saber grip, I'm going to come up, into back circle. Once I'm into back circle, I'm going to start with my other club. So you can see that I'm doing this movement as a single, but now I add my second club. So I go, one hand goes front circle, one goes back. Okay, so we're going to do it again. I'm going to face back. Tara will keep facing forward. Last one. So what you've seen is using a single club for your single cross. Then doing single cross while holding two, doing one arm and then the other. Then doing two clubs at the same time, doing exactly the same motion, just on opposite sides. And finally, we did the alternating cross where you're using two clubs, but you come up into back circle with one before you start, with the other one. So that's a progression that you can begin to practice, which will take you from the simplest cross, a single cross, to the double cross, which is the next most difficult, which is then followed by the third difficulty level, which is the alternating cross. So have fun with all of these, and remember, if you haven't started with video number 1, look below in the description and you'll see the URL that'll take you to that video. And do that one first and refine it before coming on to what we just did. Make it fun, and remember, you're always your own guru. Pay attention to how you're feeling today, right here, right now, and act appropriately.